So Jeff, what is this program that we're rolling out? What's it called? Who's it for? What's this thing designed
Yeah.
for?
So as we've been in business for a long time now, we come across people that rightfully so are in the investment world, and we've formed preferred partners network. And what that is if you're in the industry and you have people that you naturally would send to us, we're looking at a way to include that and kind of give you some incentive to refer them. We kind of partnered up with a couple of insurance agents, and they said, "Hey, I can send you business," and kind of go that way route. And that's kind of the overall objective, is to turn those people that are naturally doing it, giving us business anyway, to make them almost like a broker, and kind of from that side. What do you see the vision of this program?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that, to target these individuals who are already talking to our potential borrowers and allowing them to leverage their network and make additional income. Why not? There are the insurance person is already selling insurance for the fix and flip to our client. Why can't they refer them to us at the same time?
Exactly.
Same with title companies and everybody else, real estate agents. They have a huge network.
Yeah.
So instead of us marketing directly to borrowers, we can start marketing and building these relationships with these people who already have these other networks, and hopefully grow this,
Yeah.
much larger.
No, it's a great program. I really get excited, and the partners that we've spoken with before or recently on this, as we're unveiling this, has been great, and they're so excited to get started.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Tell me about what's a hard money loan.
So hard money loan is a little bit different than what traditional, and I know I go back. I'm going to be going back to what traditional, because hopefully most people know the basics of getting a house. But what we do is we're an investment purpose loan. So we do loans to LLCs, S corps, for the most part, and we look at the project itself, profit from it, and those are the main features. We also have a personal guarantee on the background, but we really look to do loans to businesses.
All right, what's the difference between a hard money loan and a conventional loan?
A difference between a hard money loan and conventional. Conventional is what you would get to buy a house. It generally looks at a smaller or a small down payment, but they also look at your income, tax returns or pay stubs, W-2s, and they look at the ability to make the payment now and then try to predict in the future. Whereas a hard money loan looks really at the profitability. What we do a ton of short money loans, or what I would consider short term, basically 1 year, and those are the fix and flipped and ground up, where we're looking at the profitability of the project to fund and kind of look at that side of things.
All right, can you run me through typical loan scenarios, loan products that you have at Black Label Capital?
Yeah, so the easiest one to start off with is what we call it. It's got a funny name, DSCR. That means debt service cover ratio. Basically a rental loan. If you want to become a landlord day one out the gate and you want to start renting it, that's what we do. We close in your LLC just like all of our other products, and then you rent it out. Quick version of that is debt service cover ratio means that your income is going to be greater than your debt. So that's that side of it. And then as far as the short-term products, we offer a bridge. Generally, it's a 12-month short-term. Sometimes people need a quick closing until they can get to the next step, or and that's an acquisition loan. We can close those fairly quickly. And then what bulk of what other loans we do are ground up construction or fix and flip. And ground up construction is just like what you think it is. Generally, it's an empty lot, and you're going to build a house on it. And then fix and flip is one of those houses that has seen some love, seen some, maybe some delayed repairs, and to bring it back to life, either to get rent ready for you to turn it into a rental, or to sell at a higher price is what we set up on that.
Another follow-up question to that, fix and flip versus construction. If a borrower comes to you and they have taken the house all the way down to the studs, and it's basically just the framing, would that be new construction or would that be a rehab?
Oh, good technical question. So that would, with the structure being up, that would be a fix and flip loan. We consider that rehabbing it from that point. Ground up construction is really when there's a technical thing, and I think most of the time it's 3 walls or 4 walls, depending on who's reviewing it. But if you're not adding square footage to answer your question, just rehabbing, fixing the studs, you may be changing a room into a bathroom or adding something like that would be where we would do it.
All right. Why would investors use hard money loans as opposed to traditional loans when trying to get financing here?
So our goal client is somebody that builds or flips 6 to 18 houses a year, and for them to do a conventional loan is going to be, not only is it going to take longer, most of those are closing in over a month, 35 days is last I heard the standard is, but they're also going to look at the debt to income ratios. And when you're self-employed, it really throws off the numbers, because if you own a lot of properties, you're going to write a lot of that off, lowering your eligible income. So it makes it a lot difficult for multiple reasons, but the main ones are the length of closing, and then we make it easy because we don't look at your income, we look at the profitability of the loan itself.
How fast can you typically close a deal?
I get asked this a lot, and we can close as quickly as the other items are all come in, and the things that take a little bit of time is getting an executed contract, getting title squared away, and an appraisal in. I've closed a loan in 4 business days, but the funny part is every broker or client that asks, hey, how quick can you close? It takes them twice as long to get their documents in, so I can work as fast as they can, but the hard part is my team is waiting at the starting line until we get those, basic information to get started. We can't start without a contract, without a budget for most of the part on our short-term loans.
What sort of quick advice would you give a potential borrower to help them speed up the process?
Your entity documents aren't going to change. So once you do a loan with us, we're going to, keep those on file. So that part's easy. If you have a rough budget, let's get it in. Let's get the contract in. And obviously, since we're closing an LLC, contract needs to be in the LLC name, not your personal name. Real estate agents kind of get that a little bit confused, and those would be the main part. And then, if it's a ground up construction, we're going to need a survey. And so getting those things that take a little bit of time, I would recommend doing up on the front end. And then, we'll open up with title. We have great partners here in Dallas that we'd love to work with. Melissa Berry's been great with us for years, and so we like working with her and her team.
Why is a survey so important on ground up construction loans?
So we're getting into the construction side. So let me back up. I know mortgages very well, and I use this example, but if I go to a job site, I don't know how to hang sheetrock. But the quick answer is that the survey shows us the spacing. Using Dallas County as an example, Dallas has setbacks at 5 feet, I believe. So if you're submitting a set of plans, we need to know that not only is it the plan, realistic and going to work, but we also want to make sure it fits on the lot that you're buying for. So, if you're telling us the house is going to be 40 feet wide and the lot is only 45 feet, you don't have the proper setbacks. And I think a couple of years ago, we came into a problem with that where somebody had a house that wouldn't fit on it and caused some issues. So
yeah, it causes a whole chain of events that are problems. We get an appraisal on a property that is too big for the lot. The borrower realizes that, then they shrink the house. Now the appraisal was for a certain square footage. Now the house is 500 square feet smaller. Got to get a new appraisal. It's a whole set of problems, right?
Exactly. And the values aren't going to hit, and there's the appraiser's going to charge trip fees. So I feel like I should ask you the question. I mean, that I think we hit most parts, but is there anything else?
That's probably the biggest thing, is making sure it fits on the lot.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Okay, so basically everything that we've talked about right now, what are some key takeaways?
So specifically in this section, I want to talk about asset-based lending, and I've kind of mentioned it in passing, or not directly, but we look at the profitability of the project. So we're looking at it. We want to make sure that the project you're going to is going to make money. We don't, like I've mentioned, we don't look at debt to income ratio. So we want to know where those numbers sit, and we have some variability based off of experience where the after repair value, or ARV, sets. And so that's what we really want to focus on and it goes back to one of your questions that you asked earlier, why go conventional versus hard money, and we base it off of the asset.